Hey guys, it's Eric here at Farpoint Farms. Check it out. I am back from the 2024 Raleigh Hamfest, Rarsfest, and I will say not the best Hamfest I've been to, certainly not the best Rarsfest I've ever been to, but I still picked up some pretty interesting stuff. I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. This was the big surprise, $1. I didn't even know General Electric hung in there long enough to make radios like this, but this is a General Electric radio. It is model number 3-5805A, and date code is 4202, so 2002, I believe. No mic with that one, but pretty nice looking little radio. It reminds me a lot of a Radio Shack radio from that era, and so I'm kind of curious. We'll definitely make a video on that one. Then right next to it was this one, also $1. This is the model 3-5816, and I'm looking at the date code, having a hard time reading that. It looks like 2209, and that, yeah, 2209, and that is crazy because I certainly did not know that they were still in the market of making radios all the way up through 2010, but PA, NNL, noise blanker, squelch, I mean, it's a pretty well featured radio. Did come with a mic on that one, but no power cord, and it's a little bit of a non-standard power cord. But these are both $1 a piece. These are the kind of radios that I was talking about a month ago. I made that video talking about how, hey, radio is dying. And if we're going to keep it alive, we've got to get other people interested in the hobby. A $1 to $5 radio, which is what you see in front of me here today, a lot of them anyway. These are radios that I'm going to pass along to younger people, try to get them interested in radio, and I think you should too. If you're into CB radio, if you're into FRS, GMRS, ham, MERS, whatever it is, shortwave, the best way to get people interested is to share this with them and let them play on their own. This was the coolest radio I picked up. They wanted 20. We settled on 10, a little more than I like to spend on such a basic radio, but it has a little bit of nostalgia for me. Cobra 19 Plus. Came with the bracket, came with the mic, came with the power, came with everything. 1989, January of 89 was when this one was made. Really cool little setup. Had one of these in one of my very first CB radio setups for the car. So it's kind of a cool radio in that sense. Below it here, this one, the only sideband radio I picked up. Never seen this one before. Little rough, made in Taiwan. Realistic TRC 453 AM and SSB. I was told it was working, but of course it didn't come with a mic, didn't come with power cord, but it is a standard power cord. It looks a little like a Uniden PC 122XL, and that might be what it is underneath. We'll have to see. You'll definitely make a video on that one as well. That was probably the coolest radio I picked up. This one here, free. There were two of them. I only took one. Rough and ugly. Old Midland model 13866. 23 channels. Did have the mic, although every bit of this looks like it was found in a barn. You can see the free label there. A little bit of rust on the back. Wiring looks like some mice chewed on it. Real rough, but for free, I figured let's play with it. Might come back from the dead, hopefully. And if it does, then we can give that on to somebody else. That one's so old it even had the CB Operators FCC ID on there. These bags here, this is the coolest stuff that I picked up. First, Macintosh LC2. Unfortunately, no keyboard, no mouse, and no monitor, but what a interesting piece of history right here. These were quite the computer, and I mean, it's hard to imagine how many years have passed. 1991. My sister got one of these brand new in college in 91, and I thought, wow, this thing is awesome. Compared to the DOS computers of the era, I mean, this thing was incredible, sound and all the rest, and I think like VGA rated graphics, so pretty impressive. Of course, not a hugely popular computer. They had the LC, the LC2, the LC3, and then I think it was the Performa 475. I am not a Mac guy, so I may be wrong on that stuff, but eventually it passed its way from her to my mother, and then from my mother to me as the years went on. I had one of these in, say, 2004, 2005. I maxed it out. I was actually able to go on the internet with it, although very slow. I think this is a 16 megahertz processor, but I did max out the memory, and there's a video memory upgrade as well you can do. Now this one's missing the hard drive, which is kind of a bummer because without it, it's not a whole lot I can do with it, but it isn't damaged in any way. It does have, looks like 30-pin cards in there, and they're populated in a 72-pin card here. This was one I do remember on this. You can add a card here and add Apple IIe compatibility or put a network card in it. So there were some options you could put in there, and that's kind of cool. It is a SCSI drive, that's the part that's really going to be hard to find. You know, finding RAM, the RAM is standard. This card is still available, but a SCSI drive from this era, that ain't too easy to come across, and that's kind of a bummer that he took it out. He said, and I understand, he took it out because, you know, personal data, even that old, I guess, could still be used against you, which is unfortunate that people are that much dirtbags, but they are. Then I've got this. This was the surprise of the trip. I found a new in bag, a Timex Sinclair 1000. You might notice I have a thing for Timex Sinclair 1000s, so it came with that. The power cord is original. It came with a little converter box, which is really nifty. And it even had the RAM pack. Oh, it feels like it might be empty. Maybe the RAM pack's not in there. I guess I should have opened that. But a 16K RAM module. Oh no, it's in there. Which gave these computers somewhat usability. I mean, they were never the most powerful. One of the reasons I like playing with them is because it brings me back to a time when you could truly understand every part of a computer, every bit of a computer. I read so many books and did so many programs on these when I was younger that I really felt like I knew everything there was to know about BASIC on these computers, and a little bit actually about machine code, which was quite technologically advanced for that era. But 2 kilobytes on board, 16 with the addition here. And it came with some books, the Timex User's Manual, the Timex Basic book, and this one was sold for 50 cents at some point in its life. The original owner's manual. And this last one looks like it got ripped in half, literally ripped in half, so no good anymore. But the Timex personal computer made simple, and I believe, yeah, oddly enough, in my own collection is the same book, not ripped in half. So that one would probably be kindling for a fire, but still kind of cool that it exists. The other books I did not have, so that's kind of nice to add those to the collection. Lastly, I picked up these. They're kind of dated, but still interesting. I've been finding myself more and more interested in packet radio. So I picked up this for $1. It's an oldie. It's from 1989 or 1987, I think it was. 1988. Hey, look at that. Somewhere in between. So packet radio, something that's not exactly popular anymore, although might want to think about making it popular again. I love BBS software, Synchronet, WWIV, Mystic. Those are all BBS software that you can still use online in the modern era, as well as with dial-up. Packet radio kind of takes that world and meshes it with ham radio. I made a video on it some years back, but obviously technology changes, so this might be fun to read through, but I'm not sure how much actual information I'll be able to get out of it. And this one's kind of interesting as well. A very old book, purchased, or second edition 1982, first edition 79. But somebody bought this in 91. It's the Shortwave Propagation Handbook. Just talks about the times of year that you're going to hear stuff. It talks about the solar cycles. So while the stations they might mention in here might be long gone or have changed frequencies, I did kind of find that this would be interesting for different times of year, different propagation, and you know, the times of day that you're going to hear things. You know, winter, excellent, worldwide DX, possible after sunrise, equinox. And then it goes into metering as well, 20 meters, 40 meters, 80 meters, and so on. So still useful to this day, something to play with and read. That's it. It was not an incredibly huge haul. Usually when I go to these things, I come back with all kinds of bounty. But I will say, and I've ran into a bunch of people that knew me, you know, either through the channel, and I actually ran into a family friend from I have not seen since probably 2002. 2003, somewhere around there, and that's just crazy. But, and actually, no, I'm sorry. It would have been 2009 or 10. That's the last time I saw him. And that's, well, I won't say your name, but it was nice catching up with you. I worked with his father for years, and it's good to know that he knew the channel, which was amazing because I've long since moved away from Raleigh, but he follows the channel, and it was good catching up with him. That's it for today. I will see you next time. Take care.